or any country and have a peace agreement. These arms need to stop. For 4 years, I've not been to my village because I'm scared. I don't know whether it's the boys that are going to attack me or it's the military. You know, it's scary. It's scary. This is not the country we want.
And the consequences are there, and women and children in particular are more affected, notably in terms of rape that is increasing, or the sexual violence increasing within the insecurity in those two regions.
Exactly. The scope of sexual violence in the insecure zone is appalling. Not only there, you know, like you have women who have come for refuge in this, let's say, Douala, Yaoundé, Bafoussam. They are also victims.
The IDPs.
The IDPs are victims of sexual violence. The people who took them in, we have cases where somebody, I take you in and you become my sex slave. This is happening here in Douala, in Yaoundé. We have so many cases. That's why we saw the need to carry out the sensitization. We are on the second edition of our sensitization. It starts from me. Just before I got on studio, I received a text message that there's another case where a stepfather is raping the stepdaughter. These are some of these cases we receive every day.
Away from the crisis.
Away from the crisis.
The issues that are generating, flowing from the crisis. What is the rate of rape and other sexual violence in Cameroon today?
The scope is so wide. If I don't want to scare you, but every household there's sexual violence happening inside. It's either an uncle, because from the statistics we have, 90% of rape cases are being perpetrated by people we know. The rape cases are perpetrated by people we know. It doesn't come from far. It's a neighbor, it's the uncle, it's the stepfather, you know, like it's somebody in the community we know. There are religious leaders, you know, like you even have political leaders who are doing the same. The case I'm talking about, it seems as if the man is an influential person in the community. His case is not an isolated case. There's so many of them like that. And we need to stop this because the effects are so long. It's a lifetime, you know, like the effects of rape, I don't know. I can't even explain. Until you see a rape victim like the one who just had, whose perpetrator had a life sentence, then you will understand the effects of rape. It's something that is life-threatening. So many have died.
And there is this issue of, trying to justify rape with some issues like poor dressing and things like that.
Wow. Those are enablers of rape. They're promoting rape culture. Anybody who justifies rape is promoting rape culture. There's an image I share usually. There's this lady who was wearing a short skirt. It's just so funny. She said, okay, her short skirt made her to be raped. This woman came up with a burqa. She's like, oh, with my burqa, I was raped. And the little baby who had diapers on say, don't say your burqa or your short skirt or your jeans caused that. No, I was raped in my diapers. Was I wearing sexy diapers? So if 3-year-old, 6 months old are raped, how do you want to justify that case? It's unacceptable. The rapist or the perpetrator took a deliberate decision to perpetrate that act. It has nothing to do with indecent dressing because children as young as 3 months are raped. So how do you justify that case? How do you justify that case? Judy was 3 years old when she was defied by the aunt's partner. So how do you justify she was wearing, in the middle of the night, was she wearing a sexy diaper? This is what I still have to understand.
So the cause is somewhere else.
It's somewhere else. No, it's somewhere else. We should not be rape apologists. I'm sorry. We shouldn't be rape apologists. And also, I want to seize this opportunity because I had in Bamenda last week. I was talking to some teenagers who were pregnant. You know, they had their babies very young. Out of the 70, 35 were cases of rape. They got pregnant as a result of rape. So that is why during our sensitization, we're advising them immediately you are a victim, seek medical attention. to prevent unwanted pregnancies and sexually transmissible diseases. You have 48 hours. You have 48 hours to get yourself out of the mess for this kind of thing, in as much as the rape is going to last with you forever, until, except you seek a psychological support, without which is a lifetime, like it's a lifetime struggle. These are some of the things we minimize. And families too, they have to stop stigmatizing victims, because the dysfunction, the family relations, the communication between family members is so dysfunctional that the children don't even want to tell the mother or the father, because they're going to be stigmatized from them. We have to.
Even within the society.
I think for now, I just want to tell you, I've been fighting rape virtually for over 2 years now. I'm on social media talking about rape. I think we are normalizing this conversation about sexual violence. We don't have to stigmatize the victims. It's never their fault, and it will never be their fault. So whatever it is, with what we did, we reached out to, the past month, we reached out to over 20,000 people in the 7 towns we went to. So you can see the difference. People now understand that it's never the victim's fault. Because how will you imagine I come visit you like a friend, and you have how do you say it? You have dark thoughts about me, and you end up raping me. Will you blame me for visiting you? You will not blame me for visiting you. So you have to take me as a friend. We have to start, even for adults, we have to seek consent. Every relationship, you have to be, sex should be consensual. You don't have to force yourself.
Right, the thousands of people you met, besides telling them that if you're raped, this is what you need to do. What else were you telling them in the sense of prevention? Because I think prevention is better than cure, as it is often said.
Agreed. We were trying to, like most of the girls we talked to, we told them how to scream. We taught them how to scream, help. Because except on condition that you are drug, because you have drug-facilitated rape. But in the instance, we even taught them some self-defense strategies, how to defend yourself in the event that somebody is intending to rape you. I will not tell you not to go and visit your uncle. Because if your uncle rapes you, how do you want me to prevent that? It means we have to tell you not to go visit your uncle. We have to tell you not to go visit your mom who is remarried. These are some of the things, because the perpetrators are people around. The most preventive is teaching people not to rape. Seek consent. And if you are raped, please reach out to us. The police is there. The laws of Cameroon are still there to protect you. They will, because this is the only way.
Don't be ashamed.
Don't be ashamed. Don't take it to yourself. Reach out. Seek for help. We don't have a lot of resources, but the little we have a couple of lawyers who are supporting the cause with their services on a pro bono basis. They attend because normally it's a criminal case. So they go there just for, so the state knows there are people watching what is happening. We have the penal code that penalizes rape. We just had, I think I'll call it our Christmas gift, because 2020 has not been easy. I will announce here on air that the perpetrator of the 3-year-old girl, the little girl who was raped last year in Ebola, he got a life sentence. He got a life sentence. And the more people are prosecuted, the less we will have rape cases, because the problem is people neglect. They neglect the laws. They say, the police here, the judge here, and no. The state of Cameroon still has laws. The only problem is we do not take advantage of what we have in place. Yeah.
All right. Now, talking about the young girls themselves, when we look at some of the cases with your analysis or the information that you have, which is more frequent, drug-related rape or rape by force or other strategies, which is more frequent?
Drug-related rape is very minute. It's very minute. That one happens. You can count in every 100 rape you have about maybe maximum 10 drug facilitated. It means that you went out with your friends, you were partying, and then they got, like in the middle, they got you drunk and things like that. But other cases, like you have people living in houses. That happens. We have cases like that have been happening. Uncles, cousins raping their nieces and nephews. It's not only women that are raped. We have the guy in Bagante who was killed 3 weeks ago. It was not something that was. It was not drug facilitated. Somebody intentionally decided to do that. The person was not under the influence of alcohol. The little boy was not under the influence of alcohol. So it's something, and I would say most of these rapists, they know how to, they know how to lure their victims. They start by giving you gifts. They even go as far as telling you not to report. That in the event you tell somebody you will die or they will kill your parents. So they instill some, they instill some fright in you, so you don't have the way to talk to somebody. They have their ways of doing it. They have their ways of doing it. So it makes you the victim. For example, when you're a child, we have a case of a 24-year-old, because the stepfather is an influential person, she still has not got the guts to go to the police. She's even pregnant for her stepfather. Can you believe that? These are the cases we have around. Influential people doing such things. These are the people who are supposed to be protecting their stepchildren. When you get married to a woman who has a child, or you get married to a man who has children, it's a full package. It's a full package. You don't discriminate, or you leave the woman alone. You don't have to take the wife, your child, to be your second wife, because that's what. And we women, I blame the mothers who tolerate such abuses. You can't. You shouldn't be tolerating such abuses in your home.
All right. But beyond what you have been doing, what should be done at the level of legal instruments to kind of discourage rapists, to kind of stop or reduce the rate?
I think I want to look at mostly the security and defense forces, that the police and the gendarmerie. They should stop. Because most often from the stories I gathered, the people tell me the police told us to negotiate. The gendarmerie told us to negotiate. What are you negotiating? What are you negotiating? Are you negotiating a trauma that your child will live with all your life? And they negotiate for how much? As little as 100,000, 50,000. We have a case in Bangam currently where the man is saying that, no, I don't want any problem with the man who raped my stepdaughter. I just want it, and I told him, you're going to go in as an enabler, because you're an accomplice. Because if this man is at the gendarmerie awaiting trial, and you say you want the money you paid for the hospital bills to be reimbursed, it means you are an enabler. We should stop that. People should be paid. People should be paid for their crimes. It means that they should be punished. So the security and defense forces, if they're listening, I know some cases. I have friends who tell me because wait until your daughter is raped, and then you will understand what the other parent has been going through. Don't be there. Don't be there to say negotiate. What are you negotiating?
No negotiation.
No negotiation.
Should be applied.
The law should be applied. The law should be applied, because only by so doing, will rape be eradicated from our communities. If you are raped, go to the police. If you think that you are scared of going to the police, you have a lot of associations out there supporting you. You come to us, we will accompany you. We did that for the little girl in Ebolova, and why not you? We're doing it for other cases. We will accompany you. It's the state against you, against the perpetrator. It's not like you have to, you just need to be present, so that the judges, they know that the civil society is around, they have an eye on the case. So even if at all there's anything that is going to happen, the law will be applied.
Right, Sonke Mirabel, social and human rights activist, founder of the Network for Solidarity, Hope and Empowerment. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Babila.